Okay, here's the emulator. At the moment I've got this, it's just temporarily, I've used a double-sided sticky thing just to put it on there. I've just had it there testing for a while. At the moment the emulator is in a box like this. I'm quite happy with this box, but the box is a little bit too big to fit in here, so I've been thinking about what can I do with that box, and also thinking about the installation of it and where it would be best fitted. Now it doesn't need to be here, so I think an ideal place for it is actually on the rear sam behind motorbike convention going on at the moment, behind the seat. So I'm going to relocate it from there around and into there. Now obviously when that goes, when this compartment goes back in, I'll be able to open that and I'll be able to see it, so I'll still be able to see the red flashing light. I think an advantage of this location is this here. Now these are all of the CAN bus lines for really the rear of the car. Now one of these is the original red and brown that goes to the BCM. So what I'll be able to do is pull that back out of there and then take it straight into the BCM. The other thing in here is that there is permanent 12 volts and there's some ground points. So it's kind of a perfect location to fit the emulator into. I have an idea of actually putting it into this location. I could use this as a tie point, just wrap a zip tie around it. It just installs it nice and neatly, puts it somewhere reasonably accessible, somewhere I can see it, and it will mean that if I take it out of here, that really this is what's going to be open for when the interior goes back. So let's do it. In my last video I showed you this is the brown and red. This is the CAN bus B network. This original brown and red went round and it went into the old BCM. Now all I'm going to do is take this brown and red, I'm going to pull it through there into the other side. Obviously, as you can see, I've taken off all of that tape that was around the vehicle tape. It just makes it more accessible for me to be able to do this, and it's probably best if you are going to do this, you do take the tape off, and then once you're happy with all the install, is to put all of the tape back, and then that will be the best thing to do. So let's go round. So I've already identified this. The way I identified it was I gave it a tug, see which one on the other side was tight, and I've already labelled it here with a blue bit of tape. It is this one, so there it is there. I'll try and keep the camera freezing. Here it is, it's this one here, and if we give it a tug again, it is this one here, which is this second one in there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that connected. I'm going to disconnect it from the current emulator position, and I'm going to pull that cable all the way through, and then I'm going to reconnect it back into my emulator. Now I like this idea because I think it keeps this whole bus bar in place and it reutilises it. You could use some pins to push into this, because there are some spare pins on there, but unless you've got one of these connectors which hold the pins in place, I wouldn't advise it. I think the best thing to do is to actually pull this out, pull it all the way out, and then reconnect it in and leave this connection in place. Obviously I've taken all of the tape off and everything in here, which I intend to put back once I've got it all and I'm happy. So let's take it out. Let's go for it. Right, first thing I've done is I've disconnected the negative side of the battery off. So the negative side of the battery is off. So what I'm going to do is this cable here, which I've identified as the CAN bus cable, I want to take that all the way through and into the rear sam. So I don't want it in here anymore. Now when I do that, I think it's a good idea to add in a small draw cable. So so what I'm going to do is I have a piece of cable. It needs to be a fairly small piece of cable, and I'm going to snip this here, snip it, and here is the cable that I want to pull through. but I'm going to add on this cable here as a draw cable, just in case I want to bring something back. Now I always use gaffer tape for using a draw cable, because I do a lot of cabling work at work, I used to, and this for me never lets go. So I'm going to put that in there. There's probably people looking at me thinking you could do a better job of that, but I probably could, but to be honest, it's not the end of the world if it lets go, because I can always put a coat hanger through and the coat hanger will bring it back. So that's in there. There's my cable, that'll go through, and then I'll just leave this white cable in there as a means to pull a cable back if I want to. So let's do that. Okay, here we are on the other side. So let's pull this through. No doubt this is going to go wrong, but yeah, it's going to go wrong because there is probably, oh, there goes my camera. No doubt that this cabling bundle as it goes through is tied. If it comes off, it's not the end of the world. And it's come off. Hey ho. It was only a draw cable, but the main thing, this is my cable, and it's going through and it's going in there. So now I'm going to put my emulator in here. If I wanted to, you can always get a coat hanger, push it through there, and it'll eventually come through. So now I've got my CAN bus cable here. This is nice. I can now bring the emulator into here and connect it in. Okay, fast forward a little bit. I've got the emulator in here. What I've done is, when you get the emulator, you'll have the two CAN bus leads on it. You can use the little connectors that I supply, but I've decided I'll put a bit of heat shrink over them and then I'll solder them on. I just want to make sure that the connection's good. So I might put some Velcro on the bottom of there so I can pull it in and out. This is just stuff that I put on there, but double-sided stuff. But I'm going to put the Velcro on and I'm going to stick it in place right there, and that's ideal because when the hatch goes, I've got the little red light there and I can see the red light, so I can just have a look to see what the CAN bus is doing. What I would say is, I did say I'm going to use this connector here, and I had to cut back all of the tape and everything to trace that connector. It is possible, obviously, to try and trace a connector. So if you was to take this off, which there is a little tiny, can't find it, oh, hands, there is a little tiny tab right in the middle there. You have to push that and then this whole thing slides off. You could use a multimeter and just to trace which of these cables is the one that goes to the BCM. I've not done that. I've decided I want to cut all the tape out and I want to zip tie it all back together. I've used this earthing point, so this is my earth point, and I've tapped into this thicker red green wire. This is a permanent 12 volt. The main reason I've tapped into this is because when I bought the car, someone had installed a tracker and this was their tap off. So I thought, well, I might as well use that. That effectively comes through to this fuse here. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I know that it's a permanent 12 volt to the consumer battery, so it's always on, which is exactly what you want. That's a bit annoying that I've got that wrapped around there. I might actually, let's take that off. Let me go and get a screwdriver and take that off. Here we go, let's take it off and let's have a look. So if I push that, I think if I push that in, that slides out like that, and then that comes off. So I've identified that the BCM is connected to this one, which is here, but it's not guaranteed that Mercedes plugged it into that one there, which is the fifth one from the left down. I don't think there's any guarantee that it's always going to be that one. But I think you then have to undo these clips to make it come out. I think, not sure. How do you do it? You can't just pull these out, that's the thing. There is a way of undoing this, and I can't remember how I'd done it. And can't remember. That. I'll come back. Got it. Right, this is how you do it. So there's a little tab there, you have to push that out, and then that undoes. It's quite easy really. And then once that's out, then you can then unplug these. So this one here that I've identified as my CAN one, got a broken one there, wasn't me, someone else. That's my CAN one. I'm just going to untangle that from there, and plug it back in. Now when you plug it back in, it doesn't have to go in that one. You could put it in any of these, because as you can see, actually there's just 2 bars and they're all tied together. So I could plug it in there, any one of these, but I'm going to put it back in where it was, and that way I know that it's always in there. So put that back in. I've untied that, and then put this back on. I think it goes that way up. That's that back in, and then we'll slot that back on in there, and that's in. Okay, so my emulator's in there. Let's just put this slot this. What you will notice is when you take this unit out, there's 2 screws that hold it to the back. You don't need to undo them screws all the way, you just need to loosen them, and then on the back of here they just slot down onto it. Bit of a tip, because the first time I've done it, I undone them completely. You don't need to. I'll give you another tip as well. Something very, very important in these old cars with all the old plastic is that I tend to never really work on the plastic side of the car in the winter. Everything is just brittle in the winter. If you do it in the summer, you're a lot less likely to snap any of them plastic bits, because everything's a lot more malleable. So especially if you live in somewhere like the UK or somewhere where it gets reasonably cold and then reasonably warm. Anyway, so that's that. So now if I put that, open that, I can then see, moves over a bit, there's my emulator. I've got access to it. I can if I want to, pull it up, pull it out, get it out if I need to, put it back. Importantly, can see the light on it. So I'm going to go and connect the battery back up and let's have a look, make sure it works. Battery's back, is on, is flashing because it's seen that the CAN bus is connected, and when it's flashing that means, yep, the CAN bus is connected and it's sending a message. It's stopped, that means that the CAN bus has woken up, CAN bus has gone back to sleep. My emulator has said, great, car's gone back to sleep, I'll go to sleep as well. It hangs there for 30 seconds, and then after 30 seconds it goes to full sleep, which is a low power mode, which is exactly what you want. I think this is great being in this position because I can see it. I think actually you could probably see it. Yeah, if I was to leave this hatch up, you could see it through the window, and it's a good indication that your car's gone to sleep, and that's very important because, as I've said in the previous videos, you need the car to go to sleep, otherwise that battery will drain down. If your car stays awake, generally there's going to be about 1.5 amps being pulled continuously. Oh, it's just woken up, something else is going on. This is exactly the thing. Now it's gone back to sleep, so that'll go back to sleep. Yeah, I think this position is ideal for it.